it's what you make it. I feel like a maze. I can't see a way out. I've been stacking face down off canvases I painted. I just spent the rain day on drip I can't afford.
What up, guys? My name is Billy. Welcome back to my channel. Thanks so much for watching. If this is your first time on my channel, go ahead and hit the subscribe button down below so you don't miss any future videos. I post videos every week, tutorials, reviews, speed drawings, all of it. So it means a lot to me when you guys like, comment, and subscribe. But in this video, I'm going over at a very basic beginner level, the easiest way to learn how to blend. And the number one tip that I recommend anybody do if you're just getting these markers, any kind of alcohol-based markers, whether it be Ohuhu, Copic, or any of the other brands, this video will help you learn the basics and help you understand how you're actually supposed to use these to get a blend. So if you want to learn how to really blend like a pro, all you gotta do, the number one thing I recommend if you've never really used alcohol markers, or you don't really have much experience, so you don't have to worry about constructing lines and actually thinking of an idea and then again sketching it out and drawing it out. You can just get one of these. Wow, there's a really bad glare on that. So this is basically, I guess, an adult color. It's not an adult coloring book. It's just a Crayola Art with Edge Justice League coloring book. It's got 30 pages in it. And again, this is a perfect tool for someone who's just starting out, you know what I mean? So you don't have to worry about drawing. You don't have to worry about drawing that. It's already there for you. You can just focus on the depth of color and actually making that smooth gradient with the colors. So I'm gonna give you a top-down view, and we're gonna go through. I'm gonna give you a simple guide to blending, as simple as I can make it inside this coloring book. And yeah, comment down below, subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. Let's do it. So check it out, guys. So I actually got this for Christmas. I think it was purchased on Amazon, but this is a really awesome coloring book to get started, and like I said, just kind of learn the ins and outs of blending without having to worry about creating a character or finding any kind of inspiration. This thing comes with it all: Aquaman, Captain America, Superman, you name it. I think most of the DC characters are in here, but nonetheless, pretty awesome. Easy to get started on something without stressing out about getting perfect lines, because before I actually start to color, I'm such a perfectionist when it comes to getting the lines perfect. So this was really helpful for me as well. So I decided I wanted to go ahead and do the flash. I really like the flash, so I'm just going in like I do before every project, and I'm picking out 2 or 3 colors that I think would blend nicely. So I'm pretty much just using a light red and a dark red, nothing serious. Pretty basic. So you don't need a bunch of colors. You really just need 2 colors, of similar pigment to get the I can speak English, I promise, to get the blend that you want. Alright, so now we're going in on this man's head, starting out with the light color. So pretty much, to break it down, the easiest way to go about this is to start out with your lightest tone and pretty much just color it all in. You don't have to get crazy with any like highlights or anything like that. Just get your lightest color and try to get it as flat as you possibly can, meaning continue to go over your work until you have the darkest tone of that specific color that you're using. I recommend just typically coloring in small circles. That's going to prevent it from like streaking and oversaturating, I think, because you won't have to go over your work as much if you color in smaller circles. So now I'm just taking my second color, which is the darkest tone that I'm using. I'm only using 2 colors, and I'm going in and basically just creating a sense of depth. So as you can see, I'm going and creating like a line on the top of his head. This is going to be like the back of his head, you know what I mean? The darker red is going to blend from the back to the lighter red to the front of his head. So you have to realize, you want to give it dimension, so it has to look kind of spherical like a head would. So if we just keep the one color there, that looks great, but we definitely want to give this some depth and we want to give it some dimension. So after shading in the back of his head with the darker red, I'm going in with the light red that I used for the front of his helmet, and I'm just kind of blending out that little seam there between the light and the dark. I'm just going back over that so that the gradient is smooth, you know what I mean? So it looks dimensional. So just kind of continue to do this process till you get that smooth blend. If your colors are too far apart, you know, then it's going to be a lot harder to get that smooth transition. But if you pick something simple like a light tone and a dark tone of the same kind of color, then it'll be a lot easier for you. I can speak. It'll be a lot easier for you to get what you're looking for. So now just gonna go in and fill in, you know, the rest of his helmet. Some spots that I feel like would have shadows or would have some kind of depth, and I'm just going in with the dark and then again just blending out with the light. Alright, so just finishing off his helmet, giving him a little more depth there on his chin strap, giving him some depth in where his temple kind of would be, and just making things look, you know, look right. So one small downside to this coloring book, I guess, is the pages are pretty thin, pretty light, so you know, the alcohol markers will definitely bleed through this page. But as you can see there are a few little errors that I made where I guess the ink bled past the line, so I went ahead with a colorless blender. You can do that, it's a little tip. You can use a colorless blender and kind of push it back into where it's supposed to go, into the line, you know what I mean? So definitely recommend that if you want. But yeah, I'm just finishing up his body now. Going in with the lightest tone again, same thing, going in with the lightest tone of red and yellow and filling out everything and making sure that it's one complete flat tone, that I've gone over everything and there's no streaks, that I have the darkest, absolute darkest tone of the shade that I'm using, as in I'm coloring the area until it is completely as dark as that shade will go. Does that make sense? And once you do that, as you can see, I'm going in with the darker tone toward the back of his shoulder, because that's depth. That's further away than the front, so I got to make that appear like it's further away. So I'm just using a darker tone to do that. And again, I would just blend it out with the lighter one. It's basically that on repeat is how I'm gonna get this flash to have some dimension. You know, learning the anatomy of a superhero or whatever you're drawing takes time and practice, but this is for sure, with a coloring book, a guaranteed way to speed up the process so that whenever you color in your own creations, you know, they look spot on. Alright, but quick 5 tips for becoming a pro at blending. 1, get a coloring book where you can freely express yourself with colors that you want to use. 2, practice outside of your comfort zone so that you can expose yourself to new ideas and techniques. 3, before you start to blend, make sure that your basic coloring fundamentals are solid. 4, work in circular small motions, and remember to try and blend your second color while your first color is still wet. Colors mix better when they're freshly applied. And 5, make sure you're using good paper. This coloring book is good for practicing your color theory and blending, but really what you want is something like cardstock paper that won't bleed. You can find the one that I use and I think is best in the comments. If you'd like to watch a more in-depth, intermediate to advanced guide on blending, you can go ahead and click on the screen right here. Other than that, that is about it. Please, if you have any questions, go ahead and throw them down in the comments. I'll respond to everybody. And if you learned anything from this video, if you want to see future videos, tips, tricks on how to blend and things like that, definitely go ahead, again, hit that subscribe button, please. But thank you so much for watching. That is it for this video. Until next time, peace.